so we'll do it again today just so that it continuity and whatnot. All right. So last session, you guys went to the library and did some things with Dell and the um, Grand Archivist Lindell, and then he gave you the book to go sell. You did some research on it. You guys did the little dream thing at the beginning, and then you guys went through the. Did you guys talk to the child, like the person that was last session too, right? Yeah. So, Iris made contact with one of the children that were kind of watching you guys and set a meeting. And I forget the names of the streets, but basically, yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah. And then what else happened? You guys went through the sprawl. You guys managed to roll incredibly well every time I tried to stop you. And you guys got to the dregs, which is kind of like where Xander's like mansion and stuff is, and the canals and all that kind of stuff. That's in the back of the sprawl. And you guys walked up to this kind of dilapidated looking grain mill. Orsic or Kaden walked up to the door and knocked on it and got horribly electrocuted. And then I don't remember exactly how you guys managed. I think she just came to the door. But anyways, that's where we're going to start tonight. And you hear somebody like walk up to the door, and she slides a like a slidable. You know what I'm talking about, where you can like kind of like a peephole, and she looks out, and Kaden, as you kind of like see through this peephole, all you can kind of see is the eyes, and you kind of can recognize them. They look very familiar, but do you think that you would be able to recognize Abigail with just her eyes? So go ahead and roll a perception check just to see if you happen to recognize her. No worries. Oh, good. Yeah, did something happen to it, or is it just like... Mm, watching all that porn. Fucking... Probably, because those sites are just as bad. Yeah, honestly. I agree. Why would you, when Pornhub's so good? Absolutely. That's weird. I wonder. Yeah. Anyways, I guess this isn't. I guess. Yeah. Okay. I got you. A 10. So no, you don't recognize her. So you see these eyes that kind of look at you, and they kind of there's these green eyes in her. She narrows her eyes and says, "Wasn't expecting you. I knew that I should have wrap that nincompoop's brain in much tighter webs. I guess the damage is done, but go around back. Maybe I can mitigate some of it. And she closes the... Uh, so as you guys start to head around the back, you have to cross over, like canal that kind of goes around the side of the house. And as you get to the back, you see kind of like a wooden door. And as you walk up to the door, it opens, and you see uh, this person. I have later issues. So you see this person open the door, and Caden, you recognize Abigail, but the difference is she has a full body now. She's wearing like a blue dress with like a high collar, and you see that she has a choker, kind of like a golden choker around her neck, and you can see uh, the faint kind of glow of something that just barely peeks over the rim of the choker, glowing all the way around her neck, and you uh, her sleeves kind of go like halfway down her arms, and her arms are like very like pale skinned. Um, and she has long, like dainty fingers, and long, kind of thin legs, and she's very slim. And she looks at you guys standing there, and kind of looks you up and down, and she says, "Oh, I must have forgot that it was Halloween. So what do we have here? An old thief playing to be a wizard, a princess pretending to be a cleric, and what might you be?" And she kind of like looks down at you, Iris, and she says, "A vampire? Maybe a necromancer? Oh." And she kind of smiles at you and says, "Well, you've already done the damage. Might as well come in. I've got tea I've got the kettle on the oven." And she turns and walks into the room. Le- yeah. Yes. Yes. Mhm. Yes. Yes, I remember. Yeah. Um. But yeah, so as you guys are kind of standing at the door, she kind of looks over and her shoulder, and she says, "Well, come on. I might have some rock candy in a drawer if that's what you're waiting for." She kind of motions at a table, and as you kind of look in, um, it's kind of like a stark contrast between the kind of dilapidated exterior and this kind of pristine interior, which is very clean of all dust and things like that. There's a table kind of in the corner next to like a small kind of kitchen. Um, and there's like a desk kind of in the far corner that looks like it's been well used. It's got papers and um, notes and books kind of open with bookmarks and things like that. She has like a fairly extensive set of bookshelves with books lined along the wall. Um, and you guys kind of enter, and what do you do? Yes, there's a table with four chairs around it. There's there's going to be yeah. No, there's only three of you plus her. uh, uh, so she's while all this is going on, she's playing with the picking up cups, and she picks up a kettle, and she turns around as you ask that, and she says, "Oh, me and this one, we go way back." And she kind of winks at you, and she walks up to the, or not you, Ayla, but at Caden, and she walks up to the table, and she sets down three cups in front of you, Iris. And then she sets down a cup in front of Ayla, and another one in front of Caden, and sits down, and she says, "So, from the look on your face, Orsic, you weren't expecting to see me." And she kind of crosses her legs and kind of leans back and kind of smiles at you. And she, as you say her body, and she says, "So, do you like it?" We'll get to that, don't worry. And she says, "But first, I've been waiting to do this for 5 years, and well, it appears you've spent some time in the Feywild. Is that where you met this other stray?" And she kind of nods her head towards you, Ayla. And she says, "The last time I saw you, you were fighting to the death against a hideous lich, and I must say, I'm happy to see that you're alive." And she says, "But I've been waiting to do this for 5 years." She steps up and walks up to you and grabs you by the back of the head and kisses you. do, do you kiss her back, or is it kind of like a? Uh, and kind of she kind of opens her eyes and she says, like, kind of shrugs and says, huh, not as good as I thought it'd be. And she stands up and walks back and sits down and she says, so, if Krabs isn't here, I guess I'm to believe that you managed to get around my spells? And she looks at you, Kaden, she says, you've never been the brightest bulb. So, she says, so, how'd you get past it? Did you offer him something? Hmm. And she kind of looks at you for a second and, like, kind of makes kind of like a you face, and she says, if that's what you're into, little girl, that's fine with me. So, um, Caden, uh, why are you here? I must say, I expected better from you. I was hoping to see you a couple of nights ago with something that I tasked you to retrieve for me. I guess I overestimated your abilities. I guess you've declined in your old age. She kind of looks at the two of you and kind of rolls her eyes. She says, well, it's too late now, anyways, and the reason that I didn't want you to show up here is uh, you are on Xander's radar, and of course now people know that you've come here, and I was trying to keep a low profile. So thank you for that. I do appreciate you potentially blowing my cover, but am I to guess that if you're here, then Lindell offered you the book? Are you the ones that I'm supposed to be paying? So where is it? Is it what book? Which which book is it? The decoy book? And so, are you gonna try to, like, you as you're sitting there? You feel the book start to tug away from you. Uh, okay, roll a strength check. So you try to capture the book, but it, like, rips out of your hands and flies towards her, and she lifts her hand up and catches it. And without, like, touching the pages, the book opens and kind of, like, starts flipping through the pages. And without even kind of, like, glancing at it for a second, it flies kind of up in the air. The pages kind of ruffle and then it closes and then slides back onto the table next to you. And she says, so where's the real one? I don't know if you guys realize what you guys are dealing with. This. And she kind of, like, is exasperated, like, oh my god, these people. Just so you know, this isn't even a very good copy. They would have been able to point it out immediately, and you don't want to mess with the people who are purchasing things like this. Fortunately, you found me first, and I'm a little bit more lenient than they would be. But you're wasting my time. Where's the book? And she kind of looks at both of you and then looks at you, Orsic, and just kind of like puts her hand out towards them, like, the fuck? Who are these people and why are they speaking to me? And where is the book? Like, she's like, you can tell she's angry. What questions do you have, little girl? Talking. She kind of looks at you and she's like, okay, um, what does she say to that? I'm trying to comprehend what you just asked. Um, she says, theoretically, and of course, this is exactly what I'm trying to discover myself. But what purpose do you have to manipulate time? Do you know how dangerous that is? Roll a wisdom save. Okay. Um. So let me ask you. Can. I don't know how to describe this, but you can almost feel like someone rummaging around in your brain. Would you try to resist this, or okay? Um. And she kind of looks at you and she says, "Oh, you're more interesting than I thought. Hmm, Orsic, you've found quite the interesting strays this time. That one," and she points at you, Iris, and she says, "has a whole host of characters going on upstairs. And that one, hmm. So, she says, I see you're looking for some friends that you misplaced. Um, the, uh, um, she says, clearly you've both spent some time in the Feywild. What exactly are you looking for? What exactly do you need from me? And as you're speaking, she's just kind of looking at you, like, kind of staring at you, And um uh as you are talking, she's kind of looking at you, and you feel like this presence kind of inside your mind, and you hear a voice, and you don't see her lips move, but you hear like a whisper in your mind that says, "Let me in, and I can help you." Are you? Are you really? Okay. Um. So I'm trying to think of how she would react to that. um. So I think like the spoon flies towards her head, and she's looking at Ayla, and right before it hits her, it actually stops in midair, and she kind of like side eyes you, like what the fuck, and she so before I tell you what happens next, how do you react? Do you let her into your brain? She said, I'm right here." And you hear uh inside your mind, Orsic, a voice just say, quit, don't be jealous and quit whining. Okay. And as you kind of like do that, you kind of like feel as like this presence kind of like sifts through your memories. And like you can see her like eyes are like locked on yours to where she's not even blinking. And this goes on for a good 10, 15 seconds, and like you see like her the corners of her lip like are kind of like twitching up into a smile every once in a while, and she's and after a moment she kind of stops, and you feel this force kind of retreat from your mind, and she says, "It's you." Hmm. Yes. uh and she kind of like shakes her head but stands up and walks over to her bookshelves, and she starts kind of like flipping through the books, and she finds one and she pulls it out and she opens it and reads like the first page, and then walks over to the table in front of you and lays the book down, and she says, "I think you'll want to read this." So as you start reading it, do you um like you notice that it's written in a language that you don't understand, Okay. So, um, as you kind of start reading, this is yeah. So it's a actually, I'm trying to think. You know what? I got two things mixed up. You totally do actually understand this language. Uh, yeah. I'm sorry. There's another book that you don't. That, anyways, we'll get to that in a minute. Um. So yeah. My bad. I'm sorry. Uh. So as you're kind of reading the book, you notice that it's a novel. Um, and it's written about like it's in kind of like a young adult style novel. It's written about like a young princess, and um, you recognize just from the few like 4 or 5 pages that you're able to read um, a, that it's about a princess who lives in like a kingdom. She's the her dad is the king or whatever, and she's friends with a little baker boy, and it talks about like their life growing up, getting to know each other, and stuff like that. And you recognize it as not a perfect representation of your childhood, but like something that you would get like secondhand, like if somebody had heard you telling the story. You remember details that uh, or like you're reading details that only somebody that was kind of close to you would have remembered. And she says, just read it, and when you're done, come see me. I might have some more information about it. But I think it's important you read it first. Now, where's my book? I'm sure you will. Now, of, of we'll see. Let's discuss some other matters before I make a decision. Regardless, I expect you to send me the book the next time you see Krabs. I need to see him, potentially to rip every ounce of skin off of his body, but still, make sure that. uh, she just kind of smiles and she says, "But I expect the book before the end of the day." Now, she just kind of. Oh, I had no doubt that Iris and Abigail would not get along. She just kind of looks at you and she says, "Hmm, does she want to?" Roll a wisdom save. Um, she looks at you and you hear inside your mind a voice, and it says, "Uh, do they know about the friends inside here?" And you hear, um, uh, what was her name again? Meladra, right? Uh, you hear the voice, and it says, "Be sure to tell Meladra hi for me." And she looks at and you see like this kind of evil smile as she kind of just watches your back as you go. Um, what are you doing with the fork? I think she catches it in midair, but as she catches it, she says, "Um, little girl, the doors are locked. I can't have you just leaving just yet." And then the fork comes flying at your head, Orsic. Yeah, and it bounces right off your fucking forehead. And she narrows her eyes at you, and she says, "Stop that." Um, she kind of looks at you and kind of rolls her eyes, and she goes, uh, I think she says, "Yes, Daddy." And she walks over to the table, sits down, and says, "All right, I'm getting bored with playing with you three. So, let's talk business." And right, let me change the battery in my headset because it's beeping at me, and I don't want it to crap out right in the middle of this. So hold on. One second. Uh, all right, I'm back. Um, so she sits down and she says, "All right, I'm getting bored with playing with the three of you. Um, let's discuss while we're all here. So, I'm sure you've figured it out by now, or Caden. Um, Xander is your father, of course. Now, I haven't seen you in a while. I think I know the person that I left 5 years ago up on that tower, but you've disappointed me thus far. Are you up for what's coming, or do I have to treat you as an obstacle?" She kind of scoffs and she says, "How old are you? 60, 70 years old?" She says, "When you've been around 300 years, then we can talk about the end of things. Don't worry, I'm not going to let you go that easily." She kind of smiles and she says, um, she says, "So what are you planning?" Hmm. She she kind of like looks thoughtful for a second, kind of like rubs her chin. And she says, "Maybe we can help each other. All right. Can I trust you, Kaden? You absolutely owe me. And she kind of smiles, kind of like mischievously. Um, but she's, of course, apparently all of you guys are need something from me. But first, let's talk about what I want. So, I've been, should I say, sent here with a specific task. I know that you want to kill your father. Of course you do. He was terrible to you, and I'm guessing that's why everything's so fucked up inside there. But, um, unfortunately, you might have to wait just a little while longer. However, I can help you get close to him, because that's exactly why I'm here. And she kind of looks at you like you should know what she meant by that. No, probably not. She just is expecting you to be ahead, you know. And after you don't say anything for a while, she kind of rolls her eyes like, I was sent here because I'm trying to get close to him as well. Anyways, listen, I've been spying on him for the last couple of months. I may be able to help you with some things, but in order for the information that I give you, I need you to help me. And you're going to have to put off your revenge for a little while until I finish what I'm here for. She says, so, I have something I want to show you. It may help all of us. But before that, do you have any questions for me? It's been 5 years. I'm sure you're dying to know where I've been. Roll a in, perception check. Okay. She's um she smiles and she says, "Don't you know, Caden? You're never supposed to ask a lady where she got her body." Um, um, she says, "Where I got it is unimportant." However, uh, I don't think you realize when we activated the device at the tower, it wasn't quite the victory that we expected it to be. Um, after I was after I left the tower, I found myself inside of Salden's dungeons, and while we may have won a slight victory up there on the tower, all we did was delay the inevitable. Dondregel is still trying to be reborn, and Salden's still trying to make it happen. Um, he's created a cult. He calls it the Cult of the Dragon, and I don't know if that sounds familiar to you, but he's gotten quite the following. She's talking about. I'm not sure about the ring. I think it may have something to do with that. Um, but if you, hold on. But she says, I'm sure you've gotten to know our friends in the north, the ones seeking out the wizards and spellcasters. Yes. Yeah. Well, Dondrigel's managed to sink his claws in a little deeper than we thought. When we separated the planes, we didn't actually prevent his resurrection, we just delayed it. Indeed. So, that watch could become quite valuable, and initially I attempted to get you guys to steal it because I wanted to use it as uh, a welcome gift, if you get what I'm saying. That way I could get closer to Xander. I have something to offer him, to ingratiate myself towards him. But unfortunately, as I said, you disappointed me and you were unable to acquire the watch, and so now I've had to alter my plans. And she kind of thinks for a second, and she says, I'm not entirely sure. However, that's why I'm trying to get close to him and find out exactly what his plans are. Because I need to see. That way we can stop him if we need to. She kind of smiles at you, uh, and is like, "Of course. What other possible reason could I have?" Um. Okay. I was gonna say, uh, roll um, roll a perception check. Okay. This I was gonna say this makes perfect sense. She kind of smiles and says, "I could never be your enemy, Kaden." Um, but she says, "Do you have any questions for me before we head upstairs?" she she kind of looks at you and rolls her eyes and she says, "That's not what I mean. I want to show you something, but if you have questions, we might as well answer them now." Uh, she look she looks at you and she says, "No, with the proper materials, perhaps." Of course, but like I said, Xander has his eye on you. She kind of like glances at you as she's looking at Iris, like, shut the fuck up, Caden. Um, uh, but she says, like I said, Xander has his eyes on you, and I'm trying to keep a low profile. The damage that you guys have done by showing up here tonight is probably irreparable, but perhaps we'll manage to mitigate the problem. As you can see from the exterior of my building, I was hoping that nobody would know that I was here. But now that they've seen you show up here and come inside, they're definitely going to be coming around asking questions. The last thing I needed was you guys to show up at my doorstep. She looks at you, kind of like, that's not me. However, um, that's one of the pieces that I'll tell you about later. But no, those aren't mine. However, that's a good place to start. Um, she says, however, Why do you ask? Have you had some altercations with the children around town? Yes. One of Xander's uh, enforcers has a soft spot for homeless children. I do know. Wait, no. She says, I don't know for sure, but the names that I've heard, when I've done inquiries, I have a contact in one of their, uh, um, uh, what would it be, like a orphanage? One of their orphanages, with one of the headmasters there. I believe the name is Tess or Tessa. Mm, yeah. Um, she runs his spy networks. Um, and she looks at you all and she says, any other questions, or would you like to move forward? She says, "All right, follow me upstairs," and she walks over to like a door kind of in the back and opens it and kind of like after you. So, do all of you guys go in? So, as you kind of enter the doors, there is a tight kind of like spiral staircase that kind of ascends for like quite a while. And as you guys kind of get to the top, um, as you get to the top, you step out onto this kind of like high tower that kind of looks over the dregs, which is this massive kind of cavern um, that's probably like hundreds of feet high and several hundred feet deep and several hundred feet wide. It's kind of like this sprawling kind of like uh, cavern with like canals to one side. There's a waterfall kind of falling into this lake, and then it separates into like a series of canals with like like water mills and like shacks where there's like sluice gates where you can like adjust the directions of the water. Um, Off to like kind of the left hand side, on the ground, or like kind of like the nice houses of the dregs. It's kind of like a suburban neighborhood, if you will, that leads up to the back of the cavern. And on the back of the cavern is this kind of like winding wooden kind of ramp stair system that extends up the back of the cavern, where all of these kind of like manor houses are. Um, and the manor houses kind of extend up the back of the cave to up at the very very top, kind of on like a little um, stone outcropping, is a massive mansion. It's like a three-story mansion made out of like obsidian and redwood, and it's like this extravagant building. And around the middle floor is like a like a deck type kind of balcony. Um, and on top of this tower, there's like you can see all across the entirety of the dregs, and you see kind of like sitting on the edge of the tower, next to like this crenellated like wall. My voice is going away for some reason. Next to this like kind of crenellated edge is like a telescope, and she walks up to the telescope and kind of like gestures towards it, and gestures towards you, Kaden, and she says, "Take a look." Hello. So, as you kind of like put your eye to the eyepiece of the telescope, it's like focused on like massive manor at the top of the back of the cavern, and you see a man kind of standing on the balcony, kind of leaning against the railing, smoking a cigarette, and you can't tell for certain, but you can kind of recognize that it's appears to be Xander, kind of leaning against the railing, and he's talking to this huge, like enormous man. He's 8 feet tall, probably bigger than that. He's probably like 9 to 10 feet tall, and a good like 5 feet wide. And he's got like dark gray skin. His like muscles are like super ripped, and he's got like a bald head. His eyes are kind of like sunken, and he almost looks like a giant. Um, and you can see him like shaking his fist at Xander, and they appear to be having an argument. She says that's another one of his forcers. I don't know his name yet, but I've seen him. Go ahead. She kind of looks at you and shrugs, but she says, I know that he works, that he spends most of his times over in the canals. Um, but from what I've seen, he may be the first place to start. It doesn't look like him and Xander get along too well. She like is exasperated. She's like, not everything is an illusion. You're looking at what's happening right now. I told you I've been here for several months. I've been spy I've been spying on him, gathering information, things that I could use to get close. Yeah, like they're fighting. Like they it looks like he's yelling at him. Uh Xander was just calmly leaning against um the railing smoking a cigarette, like doesn't seem to be phased by this kind of aggressive giant in front of him. And you see kind of like the same thing, and kind of as you're looking through the telescope, uh the giant kind of like throws his hands up and roll a perception check. It's like really really far away. Ayla, I need you to roll a uh should I have you roll for this? Roll a perception check, not a save, just perception check. Okay. Um, so, um, Ayla, you like notice that like your hand seems to like have been itching for most of the time that you've been here. You're not sure why. You just have on your hand kind of feels weird, almost like just that you are aware of your hand kind of feeling weird. Oh, you're not wearing your ring? Oh, so never mind. You don't feel anything. Um. So okay. So yeah. Uh. Continue what you're saying, Iris. Okay. Okay. She says, "So, um, what are your plans going forward? Like, how can I help you?" She she says, "No, I need that book. You'll have to come up with other plans. I intend to learn from it." She looks at you and says, "I might be able to do something about that, but um, I plan on using that book, gaining some knowledge about this watch, so that I can present myself to one of Xander's henchmen and perhaps make myself seem useful to him. So that's my plans going forward. However, perhaps we can work together to find the right time to make it happen and ensure our success." So, other than that, what are your plans? What is your next step? How can, like, where are we going from here? Um, that would be fine. I actually have had some communication with the headmistress. No, that's not Tess. No, Tess is. I think she has a soft spot, and I think she established the orphanage, but I don't think she runs it. The headmistress's name is. Let me find it real quick. Um, where did I put it? Her name is Elena. Just call her Elena. I don't need a last name for her. Her name's Elena, and you can find her at um. Oh, she says okay. Um, so perhaps you can talk with her, see if you can gather some more information. Did you need anything else from me? Is there anything else I can do for you? And as you say that, freaking Abigail looks at you with this like uh I don't know how to describe it. It's like a hungry look, and she and she says, um, "How about it, Caden? Would you like to stay here?" Um, I think she um kind of like crosses her arms and looks at you like in this like uh kind of like disappointed, but also like your loss type of a way. Um, and she says, "Well, uh, you know where I'm at now. If unless I have to leave, of course. But it would be good to see you again, Caden. It's been a long time." And I need all of you guys to roll perception checks. So uh, as she's kind of saying this, Caden, you kind of are like looking at her, and you see kind of like this. How do I describe it? Like a shimmery kind of like almost something moving, but like you can see through it, and it appears to like be moving towards Iris, and you see it over kind of uh Abigail's shoulder, and it looks like something is about to stab Ayla in the throat. Iris, sorry, Iris. Yes, yes, you see it, Caden. She's so uh you're kind of like standing next to uh the what's it called, the telescope, looking towards the opposite direction, and it's maybe like 3 or 4 steps in front of you. Looks like an invisible person. Okay. Roll a dexterity check. Okay. You're so lucky you got advantage because that was going to be very bad. So what does it look like as you kind of lunge for this person and kind of knock Iris out of the way? How does this play out? You won't get to do an attack, but you will get to stop them from attacking Iris. Yeah. Yeah. Um, and so as like the rest of you see him dart over there and kind of like push past you, Iris, and you kind of are knocked to the side, you turn around and fading out of invisibility, you see three um, people wrapped in like black clothes with kind of they look like ninjas basically, um, and they're all four holding daggers, and we're going to all roll initiative. No, I haven't. We haven't had combat in so long. I forgot how to do this. We're yeah. I'm trying to find it on the new UI. Um, there it is. All right. So I need to do a couple of things. So let's take like a 5 minute break because I gotta pee, and then spend that time kind of looking at your guys' abilities and spells and stuff because it's been so long since we had combat. Because I have to create these assassins because I didn't plan on doing this. I just thought it would be cool. Uh, oh man, it's gonna be interesting. Mm. I'm just gonna say, just so you guys know, you guys are level fucking 10, and these guys are gonna be badasses. So, good luck. Yes, yeah, absolutely. She is going to fight along with you. Um, what is your guys' saving throws for um, Constitution and Dexterity? Okay. Was it your disguise self shit? Yeah. So, oh man, I guess we should probably draw a map too. Yeah, it won't. It shouldn't be a hard thing to do. In fact, here, if you guys want to draw, holy crap, they completely they they redid the fucking map thing. Um, are you guys on the different page now? How do I move you guys now? I don't understand. I don't understand. How do I put you guys on this map now? Holy shit! They completely changed this fucking. Um, can I do this? There, you guys are. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's just a blank page. So like, here is the. Um, draw a shape. No, it's still up. It's empty. Oh, all right. Is it up now? Yes. Ayla 15. Uh, Caden. Caden 11. Iris, re-roll yours just because it was messing up on mine. Sorry, that was weird. What they did was, I don't know if I like it. Um, So this is basically what you see. Oh, I have to do this first. And I need to roll. Yes. Alrighty. Hold on, I'm gonna put you guys where you're at. Yeah, I'm gonna put her on there in a second. Yep, she left you guys. Oh crap! I don't have. Okay, that's okay. I know what she has. Um. All right. So, are you guys ready? All right. So, you rush forward and knock the uh dagger out of the way, and he kind of stumbles back. And correct. And just at that moment, you see as like a blur rushes up towards Abigail, and and as he kind of like reaches up and tries to like put his arm around her throat to like slash her throat, you see as like a blue light kind of flashes and kind of like knocks his hand back, but he takes a step back, and as the kind of like blue flash starts to diminish, he kind of swings at her arm as she's kind of like pushing him away, and you see as the dagger kind of slices across uh, her wrist, and you see as like as the dagger kind of slices across her wrist, it almost looks like black tentacles kind of like seeping out from the wound, and then they kind of like suck into the wound, and you see as like her veins and stuff around the wound start to turn like purple and red and starts to seep into her arm, and she kind of like screams in pain. And then This one takes a step forward towards you, Caden, and he attacks you with his dagger. All right, so he rushes at you and kind of slashes at you 3 times, and you can use your. Are you going to use the shield? You can use it when. Yeah. Does it? Is that enough to block all 3? Okay. Okay. So you take 11 slashing damage and roll a uh, Constitution save. And you take 7 poison damage. Now, just so you know, as you get slashed, you feel as the poison starts to seep through your veins, and wherever you can kind of feel the poison going through your arm, it's making it super numb. You can't feel your arm as well. It feels like the muscles are deadening. Um, and yeah, and it is Iris's turn. Um, okay. Um, okay. So you summon a zombie. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Um. Okay. Okay. No. Okay. Okay. Yeah, you just so when you dice roll it, you just click on the 2 where there's 2 dice. No, so you just oh yeah, it does fuck with the math. Yeah, that hits. Yes. Okay. Okay. So it does take the 18 damage, but they are immune to the frightened Zen status effect. Okay. Okay. Uh, Even if it's not frightened. Yeah, they're immune to frightened. Uh, okay. Um, okay. Are you gonna? So then it is Ayla's turn. Okay. Okay. Um. So they what they have magical abilities, but they're not like spellcasters. What? So what are you trying to use? And I'll tell you if it would be effective. Yeah. Okay. So they aren't spellcasters. They have magical abilities, but they aren't casting spells. Yeah. So you're that would work against like Abigail, like wizards and stuff like that. Yeah. Okay. Uh, so you can cast that on three. Yep. Okay. Bloop 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 bloop. And then what saving throw do I need to make? Um, if you're up to three, you must make charisma saving throws. So make three saving throws. Okay, the one over by Kaden and then passed, but the fails the saving throw, makes an attack roll or saving throw. Before the spell ends, the target must roll a d4 and subtract that number. Okay, so, oops. This one is baned. What should I use for bane? I'll use this. And this one is baned. Okay. And is that all you're going to do? Okay. So this one is this one is going to um you see as the kind of clothes that it wears kind of starts to ripple and it kind of turns into like have you ever seen the Predator when the Predator's invisible, but when he like moves, it almost looks like that heat haze. Um, so he turns invisible, and uh, let's see. It's an ability of the clothing he wears. Um, so Iris, he appears behind you and does a 17 hit? Does a 24 hit? Okay. And then does an 18 hit? Of course not, because you just use shield. Yes. Okay. The 24? Okay. Then you take 9 slashing damage as he appears behind you. He tries to stab you 3 times really quickly. You're able to block 2 of them, but the final one kind of uh, pushes past your guard and kind of like slashes you kind of across like the collarbone. And I need you to roll DC 12 Constitution saving throw. And you take an additional 3 poison damage. Okay. And he is going to... He's going to stay there, I think. Alright. And then it is Abigail's turn. What is she gonna do? Hold on. I need to make a character for her so that I can actually cast spells. Oops. I don't want it to be NPC. So you see as Abigail uh, turns and kind of sees everything going on, and she just kind of rolls her eyes and she looks at you, Kaden, and she says, "I told you this would happen. This is your fault." And she puts her hand out, and you hear like all of your like you kind of smell the smell of ozone, and all of the hair kind of like stands up on all of your arms, and then you hear like a loud crack as lightning shoots from her fingertips and begins to chain between the 3 enemies, and she casts chain lightning. There it is. And they all have to make dexterity saves. So this one takes 39 damage. this one takes 39 damage. And this one, what is half of 39? So 19? This one takes 19 as he kind of like rolls out of the way of some of it. And she like like her body starts to kind of like shimmer similar to theirs, but instead of like turning invisible, she just starts to kind of like look like she's blurry. And Kaden, it's your turn. You might be on mute. Mm-hmm. So how do you make a spell attack? Do you have a spell that attacks like you don't even have like Eldritch Blast or anything? Yeah, cast Firebolt. 3 times. 3 times. Yeah. Um. And there's uh. Does it? Okay. That wouldn't work properly. Oh no, that's piercing song. Never mind. Um. And that goes against. That's against their AC, right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. It's so stupid that it's been so long since we fought. I completely forgot how to do fucking combat. Um. So unfortunately, it makes me sad, but none of those hit. Because that's an awesome fucking skill. That would have done a shit ton of damage. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's a range spell attack, but I think it. So, I think you use whatever your spell modifier is instead of, like, strength or dexterity. So you, like, roll a d20. And then what's your spellcasting modifier? Yeah. So it would be +8. Are they all +8? Okay. So yeah, unfortunately, they, like, all of them, like, so one thing I think that you gathered from that is these are very, very skilled, like, bladesmen. Like, they, like, where you move, like, super fast, they move almost as quickly and are able to, like, kind of, like, barely sidestep and kind of parry your blade as you kind of come in to pierce them. And, they kind of, like, are able to, all three of them, parry your blade. And you get to teleport to a unoccupied spot. Yeah. All right. Um, I that's why I'm sad that it missed because it was cool. So this assassin is going to uh, disappear. Correct. Yeah. Yeah. He disappears, and I hate that like you have to switch layers to like make them disappear and move and shit. Um, and Ayla does a 16 hit. Does a 23 hit. Oops. So you take 8 piercing damage and roll a Constitution save. And you take 2 poison damage. Actually, he doesn't appear. He stays invisible. No, he attacks, so he's visible over there. All right. And then this assassin is going to attack. I think he is going to turn and attack you, Kaden. Cause you're like bloodied, right? Like, have you taken damage during this? Like, he hit you once, right? Okay. So he's gonna attack you 3 times. Uh, miss. Okay. And then okay, and Iris, it's your turn. So you could still like yeah. So let's discuss this. So I mean, there's rules for fucking invisibility. I think I don't know what they are, but how do you want to handle an invisible character? Do you want okay? Do you want to just turn around and you have to attack a spot and hope they're there? So you no matter what you have disadvantage against an invisible enemy, but uh yeah, it's just like do I let you know where they are so that like you can attack an area, or are they invisible and you can't fucking see them? You know what? Roll a perception check. Okay, you have no idea, so go ahead and do what you want. Okay. 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 And if they make it, what happens? They can't do all three. They only get one. Okay. So how much damage did it do? 13. Okay. Uh, the second one's what matters. Second one does 13. Alright. The one that you cast here just waves around. What does it look like when you cast Tasha's Mind Whip? Okay. And the one at the top kind of like catches him in the shoulder and he kind of spins backwards. Are you gonna do anything else? Okay. Yeah, there's nobody there. Gonna. Are you guys going back to back? All right. It's Ayla. It's your turn. Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. The 22 hits. Okay. Uh, so as he kind of reaches out and like slashes at him, uh, he was spinning away from kind of your previous attack, and he spun kind of into his slash, and it actually like rakes down his chest, and you start to see as kind of like blood starts to pour from his chest, and you hear kind of like a high pitched like and oh okay. And actually, he like kind of like steps back a couple of steps and falls to his knees, and just slumps over face first onto the ground. For sure. All right. Uh, then Ayla, it's your turn. Mm-hmm. Roll a perception check. You know that it's kind of like in this general region over this away. Okay. Um. Okay. And let me see. Each spell. Target make an ability check. Use the spellcaster ability. 10 plus the space. So the target make ability check. And what level are you casting it at? So fourth level or higher. 10 plus the spell's level. So, and who makes the check? I'm not understanding that part. So yeah, you make a check using your spellcasting ability. So roll a d20 and add your spellcasting modifier. And then add your spellcasting modifier. Okay. And it would be 10 plus the spell's level. So 14, so... Uh, he pops into existence. And he just kind of looks down like, shit. Yes. That assassin is dead. So it will be Abigail's turn. She is going to... What is she going to do? So... What is she gonna do? Alright. She's going to... She's just gonna cast Chain Lightning. Because why not? Exactly. So this one takes 25 damage. And this one takes 49 damage. Wait, no. 60. Yeah, so he takes 25 too. Alright, minus 25. Okay, and Kaden. She just kind of stands there and like spreads both her arms out, pointing at both of them. Um, and like lightning just seems to like flow over her body and like out her fingertips towards um the two assassins, and like it just like ripples up their body, and like they kind of like freeze in space for a second. And then it is your turn, Caden. You're on mute again. Nope, you can see it now. She dispelled it. Okay. Yes. Yes. Correct. You just do the damage, not your strength modifier or dexterity modifier. The first two hits. So, um, he like is still like under the effects of the kind of lightning, and his movements are kind of jerky. He tries to block the first one, but you get through and do 13 damage, and then the second one you do 14, 15, a total of 20 damage. The first one kind of like pierces his bicep, but the second one you kind of like step back and like stab him kind of like through like the stomach kind of side of him, and he kind of like grips his chest or his stomach, but he's definitely bleeding profusely. His blood kind of like drips down his leg, but he still kind of dances away from you and grips his dagger, getting ready to attack. And he is going to turn invisible and he's going to attack you 3 times with advantage. 21, 17, and 12. Um, doesn't he have to roll a d4 or something for some reason? Yes. And so subtract 4 from that 21. Okay. Okay, and then he is going to Misty Step. And then this one is going to reach into like his he's got like a pouch, and he pulls out a like a I guess it looks kind of like a grenade, and he throws it at right here, and right here. So I need Iris, Ayla, and the zombie to make dexterity saves. And then your zombie. Okay. Um, so Iris, you take half of 28 damage. Your zombie takes 28 damage, and Ayla, you take 28 damage as he throws this grenade, and as it lands, it bursts into like a spray of like this caustic material that coats your body, and it starts to burn. Like you feel like your flesh start to burn. You feel you see as smoke starts to rise off of you, and Ayla, you're actually coated in this fucking material from your head to your toes, and if you don't take an action to kind of like wipe it off of your body, you're going to take additional damage next turn, and that is because you rolled a 1 on your dexterity save. Um, and Iris, actually, hold on. He is going to. What's he gonna do? He's going to drink a potion. So. And he is going to heal for 14 hit points. Okay. And Iris, it is your turn. That was both of their turns. One of them attacked Caden, the other one threw the grenade. This one down here. Yeah. Yes, very much so. At which one? And does it go least hit points to highest or highest to lowest? Okay. So this one falls over asleep, but the other one does not. Okay. Hold on. He's gonna use his legendary ability and take an extra turn, and he's going to attack you 3 times. 23, 20, and 20. Okay. Okay. Until the end of the next turn. Okay. How many hit points does that thing have, by the way? Oh, damn. Okay. Yeah, I get it. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't the 13 from that and it was dead, but that's fine. Go ahead. Okay. Okay. All right. It's gonna take the damage, but it's also going to use its legendary second legendary ability, and it is going to counterattack both of those hits. 24. Does that hit the zombie? So it's gonna take um. A, anyways, it's gonna take 8 damage, and then okay. Okay, so it takes 8 damage. And then it's gonna counterattack the other one. 22. Oh no, I rolled twice already. I forgot that I rolled twice up higher. Right? I did. Yes. It was 24 and 11. Okay. And how much damage did you do? Okay, so 10, 20, 8, 29, 33. 33? Okay. He still looks good. Um, Ayla, it is your turn. Okay. Okay. It does. Hold on. So, blue energy lances out toward the creature within range, forming a sustained arc of lightning between you and the target. Make a ranged spell attack against the creature. On a hit, the target takes 1d12 lightning damage. Uh, yes, correct. Uh, hold on. And in each of your turns for the duration, you can use your action to deal 1d12 lightning damage to the target. So basically, you can just sustain it. Use your action, like say you wanted to cast a bonus action spell, you could maintain this spell and still cast like bonus action spells, and you don't have to roll to hit again. It just does 12 damage. Yeah, it just does 1d12 damage. So is that everything? Okay. It's a cantrip, so I think it has to be first level, isn't it? Uh, yeah. Is it a cantrip or is it a? Yeah, but is it a? What level spell is it? Yeah. Okay. So you know, just so you know, you can do what's called upcasting it. So you expend a higher level spell slot to do more damage. Yeah. So like, say if you used a third level spell slot to cast it, it would do 3d12. So it would 9 plus the 7. Yeah. So see how it says the higher level cast? That's the extra damage. Yeah. Did you want to add the 9 damage to that and expend the higher spell slot? Okay. No worries. Don't worry about it. So I think Abigail's going to lean back against the um railway, like the edge of the thing, and just watch what happens. I think. Kaden, it's your turn. Yes. Yes. If you use your action for something else, then Witch Bolt goes away. So so the benefit of that spell is if you hit somebody with it, every single turn you can just do damage. So like it's not it's a cool spell, but it's not one of the OP type of spells. Yeah. No, it just means you get two actions. Yeah, it says you spend your action to do damage, so I think so. I'm gonna go ahead and say yes because I could make the argument that that's technically casting two spells in a turn, but I'm gonna just let. I understand that. That's why I'm gonna. I agree with that sentiment. That's why I'm gonna let you do it. No, on your turn you're gonna get two actions. So like with that spell, you could just do double damage, and you could move twice as far and stuff like that. Yeah. Uh. Plus one face, but if it's transaction. Yeah, because that's whatever. If you want to cast it and her be able to do double damage, I'll fucking allow it. Yeah, just because it's cool. Okay. Might not matter. Um, so he after he's like got this thing attacking him, he looks around and turns to and uses the disengage action and runs to the edge of the thing here and leaps off the edge. And as he's falling, you see him drink a potion, and as he gets closer to the bottom, he starts to slowly fall. We are. Um, so as he's getting to the bottom, I'll let you go. You can act as he's falling if you want. So what are you gonna do? Okay. 16. That is going to miss. Yeah, that one misses too. Oh yeah, he's much faster. Ayla. So he has landed on the ground and he's starting to run away. What are you gonna do? So the tower's probably 60 feet high, and so about probably like 60 feet, 70 feet. Yeah, it'd probably be about 70 feet. So I don't know if this matters, but you see as Abigail is walking nonchalantly towards the edge of the tower. I don't know that Ayla could take that for what it is. She doesn't know Abigail that well. Does that spell have the range? Most of your spells are going to be 60 feet. There you go. That'll want to work. 25. 25 will hit. And so as he's kind of running away, um, your guiding bolt. This is the one that kind of opens a hole in the sky. Yeah. So as he's running, like a hole opens up underneath above him, and this bright flash of light shoots down. And what does it look like as you kill this man as he's running for his? Uh, uh. Okay. So he kind of falls to the ground, and Abigail kind of walks up behind you, and she kind of pats you on the shoulder, and she says, "Nice job." And she looks at you, Caden, as everyone's kind of either dead or asleep on the tower, and she says, "This is why I didn't want you showing up on my doorstep." Uh, so um, she basically ignores both of you because she's annoyed with this, and she kind of like stomps down over to the stairs, and she says, "Clean this up. I have to make sure there's no more downstairs." She ignores you and walks downstairs. Um, so you guys are gonna go interrogate or to the other one. Do any of you guys check the other one's body? Okay, I'm just correct. I just because if you're gonna check that one first, I'm gonna describe that character because it may matter. Do you do that before you talk to the other one? Okay. So as you kind of walk over to um, this assassin, um, you kind of pull his their mask off, and you actually notice that this individual is maybe 15, 16 years old. Um, and like you, as you're kind of looking at his uniform, you can notice the difference from the other one. He appears to have kind of like an extra piece of his armband, um, that's like tied around above his shoulder. Um, with from roll an insight check to see if you would know what this means. You can probably guess, but whether or not I just straight up tell you. Yeah, you just notice that his uniform has something on it that's different from the other two. Um, yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. And it has some writing. Do you speak? What does? Do you speak Draconic? Oh, so it doesn't like straight up like say the word like trainee or whatever, but it's like some word that basically means like student or you know mentee or something like that. Um, so you can take his dagger. His dagger is a magic dagger that does 1d6 damage plus 1d8 poison damage. And uh, if you like, as you try to like, uh, do you try to take his cloak or anything like that? Okay. You can tell that it's got like it's magic, but if you try to like take it off of him, as you try to take it off of him, that part starts to disintegrate into like nothing. Um, and you search his belt, and you find two acid splash potions. They're like those grenades that the other person used, and they do 2d12 damage in a 10-foot radius. That's that's all you find on that one. Um, so this assassin um, is just kind of like lying there asleep. What do you guys do? Yes. Um, so as you're kind of like sitting there, he's starting to like groggily like kind of begin to wake up. Okay. Sleep. Okay. And he's continues to sleep. Um, as you try to take off the clothes, it disintegrates as you take it off. Hmm. I mean, but go ahead. No, go ahead. No, no. Uh, mid 20s. Um, so you guys are gonna tie him up? Okay. Does somebody have? Do you guys have rope and whatnot? Okay. So as you guys are doing this, Abigail comes back up the stairs. She says, "It looks like the rest of the house is clear." So, what did we find out about this one? Okay. Um. So she kind of walks over and stares down at him, and she says, "So, wake him up." He kind of like shakes awake, and he looks up at the three of you, and looks up at um, Abigail, and kind of smiles, and just kind of sits there silently. He has advantage on this. Um, so let me read this spell real quick so I know what what he has to do. You can see within range. It must make a wisdom saving throw, and just so with advantage. If your characters are fighting, if it fails the saving throw, it is charmed by you until the spell ends. Until you or your companions do anything harmful to it, the charmed creature regards you as a friendly acquaintance. When the spell ends, the creature knows it was charmed. Okay. He looks up at you and kind of smiles and he says, "We've been watching this place for weeks." You're welcome.
Why did you attack us? I don't understand. You've done nothing to me.
Oh, because we were told if we found out that somebody was spying on our master, then they had to die.
Who's your master? I presume it's Grimshaw, but I call it
Hold on. I gotta look something up real quick. I did not expect to have to answer this question.
He knows the name of the master.
Because the thing is, they have advantage on not getting fucking charmed. Like they're specifically trained not to get charmed. Yeah. And I rolled a fucking 5. And they get a plus fucking 8. And I rolled a fucking 5. Alright. What's her fucking name? It's not. I have to. I'm sorry. I have it. I just have to find it. I didn't have it open.
I'll leave your space around for a while.
Her name is. I know, it's weird. Um, God damn it. What is her name?
I could ask her if
No, I should find it because it matters.
that assassin one that works.
Her name, uh, Master Zara sent us to spy on this area. Um, she says, "Of course you know Master Zara. She trained all of us."
Do we know it? Like, speaking of Rebel, do we know it?
Nope, you have no idea who this. But this person thinks you're their friend, and like obviously you would know.
Yeah, so obviously his friend would be spied by him.
Yes, exactly. But obviously Master Zara. And he's looking up at you, smiling. And
Abigail. Is Abigail in there with him?
yes, she's standing there looking down at this.
So I'm gonna like look up and give her a question engage, like, do you know this Master Zara? Sort of. I'm trying to convey that and like point towards the person.
Uh, she looks at you and she says, "I, um, uh, mm, she kind of thinks for a second, then she looks down and she says, "Ask him what the name of his uh, of where he trains. Like, ask the name of the training center."
What's the training facility?
Open this. Uh, um, So,
I will say, depending on how much you want to give us, if they're defending Williams, take that.
that's true.
I don't think they'll
Um,
be found, but
yeah, and I don't think they have to completely like betray themselves. Like if they wouldn't tell, like if it's something they're supposed to keep 100% secret, right?
yeah,
Like,
I don't think I would tell you certain things I learned in the Navy personally.
yeah,
But
okay, that changes kind of how I play this out.
What makes you want to know? What is it that you don't want to
Um,
say?
I'll tell you a lie, and then you just like that. But
um,
maybe that'll be the truth, and that was a lie. No.
so, hmm, roll. So, does he get to make a save against this?
This is a 1 hour duration.
My only thing that I have a question here, and you know what? You can get mad at me. I'm gonna make a save.
That's fine. So say 8 plus strength to his, and he still fails.
So 11 plus 8, so
Fucking Christ.
19.
Yeah.
I think he looks at you and like he starts to question and hold on. Yeah, he totally. And you hear Abigail all of a sudden say, "Ah, shit," and you hear a click in his mouth, and he starts to foam at the mouth and starts to like cough up blood, and he falls over dead.
Well, there you go.
He wasn't saying anything, and I strike that as funny. And I'm telling you, let's start doing that.
Well, that was exciting.
Like, okay, you said that you wanted to attack us because something's spying on his boss is this person. Are you spying on another person? I mean, I mean, you sound rich, but why are you spying on this person?
Of
So I was spying on his company.
Obviously, I've been here for weeks. I haven't. I've had to have crabs show up if I wanted to contact you, and I'm sure he hasn't been um, discreet. So I'm not
You can
surprised.
choose crabs if you want to be discreet.
It's the only one that I could find that Caden uh, had an acquaintance with.
So this is all about him.
Well, perhaps now you have a better opportunity to make a better move against me.
So I think when you say that it's all about him, she gives you like that smile, like whatever. Like you know how girls do. Like I don't know how to describe it, but anyways, uh, she says so. Obviously, my cover here is blown. I'm gonna have to find a new hideout. And she kind of looks at you, Caden, and smiles. And she says, "Can I come home with you?"
No,
You've already got one strength improvement.
I don't want your strength. Ugh.
And she ignores everything you're saying, just staring at you, Caden.
I look at you guys.
It's settled. I'll come home with you then. So, how about this? You guys, make your way home. I'll be there later. I have some things I need to do.
I'm gonna continue walking normal. Wow.
We're trying to be friends. I'm just like, just make our way down the stairs.
So, I think when you say that, as you're walking by, um, you see as like you walk by towards the stairs, and you see as a bag of gold kind of like floats over your shoulder, and you look up, and it drops into your hand. So I think as you guys leave, uh, the door closes behind you as you guys leave, leaving just her and you up on the roof, Caden. And she's just kind of looking at you. Um, and she kind of like smiles, like in a genuinely friendly way, and she says, "It's good to see you, Caden. I've missed you." Uh, and she kind of like walks up to you, and she just kind of like puts her hand kind of up on your cheek and kind of smiles at you, and she says, "This is gonna be fun." And she pats you on the cheek and turns around and starts walking towards the door. And so what do you guys? You guys all make it downstairs. Um,
A few more questions.
yeah,
One is get a new knife off of that second.
yeah, same thing. Same thing. Another dagger and two. Actually, one acid. No, because the one that had the other one is the one that jumped. This one had two acid splash grenades.
Yep.
Um, and that is all. And so you guys are downstairs. Do you guys want to do anything before you leave?
Feel like we like take it like say we're going to the bathroom or something, like I don't know,
Okay.
find a public area. That kind of thing.
Um, how big is
The
the
camping
campsite?
though? I I do not. Wait. Yeah, I do. I think it's pretty well packed.
I think it's only 120 feet, right?
Uh, 500.
500 feet.
Okay. That will get you into like. But do you have to see the area?
You have to have an idea where you're going.
Okay.
Basically, so for transportation, you can only stop for oh,
So what's a half a mile? 500 feet,
you
right?
arrive at exactly the spot you decide. You'll see a place you can see. One you can visualize, or one you can describe by standing near the campsite. So if you want to just check it out for a couple minutes, go for it.
A mile is 5,280 feet.
Okay.
uh,
Wait,
How?
is it
None of us
really?
know the
yeah,
numerical one. I thought
yes.
it was like 2,000 something.
I typed in,
500 feet. Sorry, you said 2,000 what?
I put how many feet in a mile. It says 1 mile equals 5,280 feet.
Hold up, I gotta go to the bathroom.
Okay.
I'll take this real yeah, Imperial?
Yes.
Okay.
So you guys can dimension door, but you can like dimension door to your front door. Like it would get you like into the sprawl a little bit.
Okay. My dimension door is pretty easy. Go ahead. What is it? Well, short version is here's the way I was going to do it, and you can tell me how you guys feel about this, or how you want to go. Yep. Dimension door is somewhere away from the fog. That's the only important part. And then disguise self as the fog traveler. I can do disguise self. Ha. Okay. Thanks.
The only thing I think, would you like discuss this in front of Abigail?
Yeah, that's something I'd like to discuss.
All right, I think she would be like, the damage has already been done.
But it's still unknown.
I think she laughs and she says they already know where you live.
But they know how to intercept us on the west. If he's gonna give her a smile at the same time.
Okay. Uh, okay, that's fine. She just smiles back.
I feel like we're hating each other quite fast and fast. What's wrong?
Oh man, I'm just saying, Iris is just, she's Yeah.
I was watching it with my setting,
Like, you know what you're doing? You're trying to be what is his name? Ilar? Like, you're trying to butt heads with her, so she's just gonna target you now.
And that's fine. I think I'm better at this than I are.
That's true. This group is more fun to mess with because nobody's a baby
Yeah.
about it. Because,
I'm having a blast with it.
by the way, did this not go a million times better than yesterday?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I would not run a game if I felt like my teeth were about to fucking
Yeah.
explode, for the record.
Yeah, for sure. Like, today I actually felt like I was the character. Yesterday I was just trying to, like, fucking.
Convey less
Yes,
for the character.
exactly.
But nah, I think
I I wonder how much, like, how Ayla. Yeah. Anyways, we're gonna have to talk about uh Iris and yeah, the stuff that she knows about Iris. Do you guys? Yeah.
this is very exciting.
I
Talk about so flabbergasted, especially.
I thought it was funny that nobody remarked on the fact that she put three fucking glasses in front of you. In front of Iris.
Wait, did you roll in front of Iris?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, I thought it was one in front of each of us.
No. There was one in front of each of you and three in front of Iris.
Oh, okay. So I didn't notice that.
And
Apparently not flabber.
yeah.
And then you said a very specific name. Did you whisper that to me, or
No,
did you
that
say
was
that?
that was 100% in your head. She did not say that out
Okay.
loud.
Fair enough. That's fair.
Um. All right.
I can't really see anything, so I guess we'll just have to.
And you notice as Abigail's starting to, like, pack up some things into, like, a bag, and she looks over her shoulder and she says, "I'll catch up with you later. You should be fine. I wouldn't expect that they had an entire team of assassins, and if they did, they would have tried to. They wouldn't have only had three upstairs."
Nope. Okay.
Um,
And Iris is gonna use disguise self and just make herself look like the biggest fucking sap at some point. Because I'm perfect. Oh, very funny. Let's swing by that body.
so as you're getting ready to leave, uh, Abigail kind of like stops you, Caden, and says, "Yeah, she has the right idea. You should probably disguise yourself as well." And then she kind of like gets this like crooked smile, and she kind of waves her hand in front of you. And I don't know if the other two of you recognize this, but basically she casts disguise self, but like an illusion on you, and makes you look like you did when she knew you. So like Orsic, when you were young.
Very funny. I can see where this is going.
And she just shrugs, like she doesn't actually care. She just wanted to. She's she's looking at you fondly.
Anything else? Anything else? Casually?
Um,
When you do that, when you say that, she gets another smile and she casts an illusion on Ayla. And you guys notice that she like looks like did you guys see the storybook that Ayla has? Caden
The
and
one that we just got?
No, not the one she just got. The kind of children's book that she got before. Okay. You see as she changes her into an approximation of the evil kind of witch from that book, and she kind of like gives like a little as she does that and goes back to packing.
Or for the actual guys are doing that type of stuff. Like that. What now? Does someone who imagine with these fucking people? I'm not gonna go
So as you guys kind of walk out, and you guys are walking back through the sprawl, um,
like her body is still there.
oh yes, yes,
I presume it's just the same dagger with one action spell.
correct. However, this one has a like a pendant around his neck. It's got like a red kind of ribbon around his neck, and at the end of it is a viper that's kind of coiled around itself, and it kind of is like a stylized gold viper with two kind of fangs. At the viper has its mouth open with its two fangs kind of extended um, around his neck.
Does it come off relatively easy?
Oh yeah, it's just tight around his neck. You can just pull it off if you want to.
Okay, cool. Spot that and make our way home.
Okay,
Hopefully without incident.
so as you guys are kind of traversing through the sprawl, um, you've noticed this before. This isn't something new. It just hasn't been important until now. But you start to listen to some of the town criers as like while you're walking through, there's people kind of gathering around them, kind of listening to the news, and you hear one of the town criers is like, hear ye, all those things that town criers say. But then he says, word has come down that the dragon's armies have moved past the dragon wall towards the easterly direction. Orkin, your high king, has ordered all of the forces of Aladun to march north to meet this threat upon the safety of the city. And he says, your king calls on any who are willing to join the fight to step forward and protect your great city. The great royal army will march north tomorrow evening and be in along the what's the thing the place in the middle that spirals up. What is that called? The ramps. Tomorrow to see, yeah, whatever, to see your city's army march north to fight the evildoers. So basically, I'm not good at being a town crier. I apologize. The king is calling forth all the armies, the evil wizard racist people in the north are trying to expand their influence, and they're kind of moving out of the dragon walls, hunting down wizards and stuff like that. And so Orkin is sending all of the defensive forces within Aladun to go deal with that. Yeah. So, and you've been here long enough to know that most of like the city guards, like like the sprawl is under the control of Xander, but it's not like Xander has like the guards and stuff like that. The city still sends patrols out into the sprawl to keep the peace. And so there is an influence within that portion of the city, so that Xander can't really like operate like without fear. Um, but you know that military force that does that is part of the Royal Army, and so that aspect of this part of the city is going away. Is basically what that means.
So the guards are moving in, essentially.
Correct.
So Xander's gonna have more of a sort of a presence.
Um, so, did you guys want to do anything on the way back to your house?
Back home? Yeah.
Okay.
We need memories.
I guess on the way, I don't recall what the. Did you tell us that you wanted to talk to us? If you didn't, then I think it's important that I obviously you understand the whole outcome.
Yep.
We need to talk about it.
Okay.
Okay, by the way, do you trust me? I got the feeling the answer is no. And these days, nobody should be put by now.
I don't know. I feel like you have very sharp hair, but then sometimes it doesn't. Like you have to read the situation.
Yeah. Well,
You take the best, right?
yes.
I, I need to go back and listen to exactly how that went down again. Do you remember exactly how that went down?
She separated them and then got like
Ah, yes. Yeah.
and they were like further
Mm-hmm.
and then she joined or whatever.
Yes. Yes. I remember now.
Oh yeah, there's Tommy, that fucking Pokemon. Sure. No.
um, there's a body in which one?
There's a fucking zombie in that tower now.
Oh, yeah. Now it'll just be a haunted fucking the zombie tower. And then next time you guys come out here, there'll just be an infested horde of zombies across the city. Um, so you guys make your way back to your house. Uh, like, how do I want to put this? So I think you guys are. Let me ask you actually. After that situation and everything, are you guys more aware of your surroundings? Like, are you looking for tails and shit like that? Yeah.
Yeah.
So everyone roll a perception check, and I'll tell you how much detail I give you with this.
I don't know if I actually have practice stuff right now. I immediately have to go talk to Kaden.
God damn.
Actually, I think I do.
Who rolled the 17?
Me.
That's good.
Oh,
Yeah, now that it's not trying to read somebody, you totally are aware of your surroundings. It's not a social interaction. You should be fine.
what's a wisdom check?
Perception, which is technically wisdom, but yeah,
My perception is the same as my fucking wisdom.
yeah. Nice. You guys are fucking aware of your fucking surroundings.
That
So,
happens once I'm trying to stab you.
so, I think you guys all kind of were subconsciously aware of your surroundings before. So now you like are thinking back and stuff like that, and you do notice as you're walking a lot more people like notice you than you would think. Often like
Where
uh
are these guys by now?
Oh yeah, all of you guys are disguised. So never mind about all of this, and all of that perception check was wasted. Um, but yeah, so you do notice. I think I will tell you this with your perception checks. So you notice as you're kind of walking through, now that you kind of have a little bit more information about how things are working in the city. As you're walking around, you notice that there's lots of like groups of kind of younger children, and like you notice them running like scams where like one of them goes up to beg and another one comes behind them and like steals people's purses and things like that. Like you start to notice those things going on within the city. Um, and it's often like kids as young as like 5 and 6 years old stealing from these people.
Are
Um,
pretty like do we have a lot of places to have like side alleys by that?
the street.
We can talk to ourselves pretty easily.
I think you guys will find areas like that. So if you want to talk, you guys can have conversations about that.
Yeah, let's go down there.
Okay, 1 second. I'm gonna
Exits elsewhere.
hold on. I'm gonna go pee real quick, and I'll be right back. Yes. Okay. So, um, you guys want to discuss anything else before you get home? Because when you get home, I have a whole thing I'm gonna talk about.
I want to see the
Okay. So, you guys kind of make your way through the sprawl, um, and you get to your house. And as you guys walk up to the front door, you all notice there's like a paper wrapped box uh, sitting on the kind of like front porch table. It's wrapped in like brown paper with like kind of linen rope strings tied around it. It's about, I don't know, uh, 4 inches tall by like 5 inches wide, or like 12 inches wide, and it's sitting on the table with a bottle of some kind of alcohol next to it, and there's a letter kind of leaned up against the two of them when you guys get there, and on the letter is the word Caden.
Do we have like a number?
Um, let me see.
Actually, if it says Kaden, I might. If it was like you said, it says Kaden on there.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, never mind.
Okay.
I don't know why. For some reason, if it's directed towards somebody specific, I don't actually want it to direct somebody. I just want to be careful.
Okay. So, anyways, that's what you see as you walk up to your house.
It looks like Caden has everything. He wants to step over me. Not
And choose the one. Oh my gosh, this is so confusing somehow. guard still outside, alive and not dead in the corner?
So it takes you a second, but yeah, they're still hanging out around your house.
Do we have any other recordings?
All right. So what do you do, Kaden? So what are you opening first? Okay. So you open the letter, and inside on like nice parchment is a letter, and it says, "Dear Caden." So when I was a kid, and I was growing up and studying to be the greatest mage in the land, uh, me and my friends used to try to test each other's skills in different games and um, uh, uh, what is it? Feats of intelligence or whatever, like basically different board games. And because we were so busy during our studies, we rarely actually got an opportunity to sit down at a table, put the pieces on the board, and just play a game. So, what we used to do is we would leave each other a package. We'd make a move, and then we'd send it off to the other person. They'd make a move and send it back, and so on and so forth, until somebody was officially declared the winner. And so, in lieu of your challenge the other day, I thought, what a better way um, of challenging ourselves without or then returning to the days of my youth in which we would play a board game as we passed in the halls. So, enclosed is the game that I wish to play with you, and I look forward to receiving your move. And it's signed, and the only sign that you get doesn't have a name. It just has like a flexing arm.
Who's the wizard in this You get that, but not goddamn jail.
So what are you gonna do? Are you gonna open that package? Yep. So as soon as you grab the string and you pull it, there is a massive explosion of and like a bunch of like graffiti like bursts out of the package, and each one of these little pieces of graffiti are coated in an ink like substance, and they shoot all over your face. A couple of instants later, there's another pop, and a bunch of gas shoots into your face. Go ahead and roll a charisma save. No, a wisdom save. Yeah.
Oh, that's why. I know that happened.
So like, as the gas kind of shoots in your face, you start to like giggle for a second. And you're like, no. And as you kind of like, another thing explodes and another gas shoots in your face, and make a dexterity save. God damn you. Um, um, so, like, as this gas kind of bursts, you're able to, like, put your hand over your mouth. Um, but this noxious, like, reeking, stinky fucking cloud of gas just shoots over your face. And then, hold on. One more. Another thing pops open and some more gas shoots on you. And Um, where? How did? Why? Uh, can you have sleep, right? Who had? No, hold on. What is the D number?
It doesn't have a DC save.
No, no. Like how many D6s do you roll?
Oh. I have two. Yeah. And then 5d6.
And that's at which level?
One.
Okay, and then what are the higher levels? Does it change?
2d8 total.
Okay, so it's five. How many D8s? You know what? Cast it at ninth level, or not ninth level.
No, you fucking
Fuck,
asshole.
that would be too high. At seventh level,
Who's high? Yeah, I still can't go that high. It's
cast it at the highest level you could cast it.
actually I can. What level did you want originally? 7?
Yeah. So 60, 88 points of sleep. Is that more than? So after all of these things happen, the last one bursts in your face, and you just fall over asleep.
Well,
With
am I falling over?
and and uh as you're like falling asleep at the bottom uh of the box, like you see in big black bold letters, you, your move, and then it has like a little address underneath it. And so you you guys all hear all of these like loud kind of bangs and smacks. What do you guys do?
We'll run out.
We run with our D6.
So as you come out, you just see fucking Orsic or sorry, Caden face down, asleep, and all over his body are these little pieces of paper that are like little fucking arms flexing.
Because he's
Incredible.
falling.
Yes.
Because I can grab it.
What? He can like take them out? How
I
big's the layer?
Oh, and as you guys walk outside, there is this horrid fucking stench, like a million fart bombs.
nope, nope. There's no better
Oh
than
yeah,
that.
and like he's running. In the darkness.
So you sleep. For how long do you sleep with this spell? A minute?
A minute, but I feel like pretty tired.
So you just
Maybe I'll go.
sleep outside? Okay. Okay. So you sleep there. I think you sleep there for like maybe like 20 minutes, and then you wake up because I want you guys to be able to talk if you want to talk when you're inside. But you sleep for a while, and you wake up, and like you start picking all of this graffiti off of you, and then you start to notice that where the fucking graffiti like stuck to your skin, the ink won't come off. It's just like you have these little flexing fists all over your fucking body and this dark black ink.
So
Um,
I think we're just going to end this episode. I think. Anyone wanna keep going for some more?
Because I love this episode.
okay. So,
I think we're gonna end then.
Yeah. And like walk out and then have enough energy to start reading this book.
yes. Okay. So, you guys are just gonna fall asleep. So I guess you wake up in the morning and walk in, and you're all covered in this stuff. Um, do we want to uh, do anything at this point? Like, this is where you guys will basically be at home. You guys can discuss what's going on. Nothing else is going to happen tonight, but I will answer questions or you guys can role play. It's up to you. This is kind of, we'll end the session after this part.
Anything else you want to say about it? Want to pass out on this thing?
Mm-hmm.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I think Sarah comes down the stairs and like takes a look at you and starts just rolling on the ground, laughing at you and pointing and everything.
Start rolling too.
You go take a bath and that shit doesn't come off.
Alright, we're gonna have to end the conversation. Just calmatic about it. I'm not interested.
Okay, I'll fucking cut you some slack. It stays on for like a while. You gotta like scrub your fucking body. Like you're all pink from fucking scrubbing yourself. Yeah, exactly.
I had to be right there for like an hour, 2 hours.
Can I just tell you, just before you get into the serious part, how happy I am that you just fucking opened the fucking thing and didn't even question it.
Going from the road version to the new one,
Uh,
and
yeah.
it's just faster than any button pushing.
Yeah, I wanted it to happen so bad. I really wanted you to fail all your fucking saves too, but I mean, we can't get everything we want. For
Alright,
sure.
back on mute.
Damn. Okay, so you're clean. You can have your conversation. Sorry.
I'll put it in the thing.
uh, do you like? I feel like Sarah and Laura are at the table, like drinking. Do you give them any indication that they are welcome or not in this conversation?
Is he alone there?
Yes. Yeah, you guys were all at the table. Sarah's like, I could go upstairs.
Oh,
Okay.
um, I'll say no. It's distracting. Fire. I'll say I'm outside. I'm not inside. You ready for a pussy fight?
Yes. Yeah.
Alright. Fuck. Alright.
Are you wanting to go first?
Fuck. Don't even wanna position grab. It's not quite as smooth as that. This guy likes jaw already. I think Iris looks pretty concerned right now.
Yeah, I see that. She's kind of like, tearing up a little bit, and because it's like the same thing, like not knowing, because she knows how that feels. So she's
No, it's
gonna
probably
go
all
over.
pretty nice. But now it all looks like crap.
She's gonna go over to Kaden and hopefully help. and
So, go ahead. No, go ahead. Yeah. I'm trying to decide if Sarah would do anything in this situation. Like, I don't want to take away from the moment with that. I So I think Sarah kind of comes over and um gives you a hug, and then trying to think how she would take this. Uh and she's just gonna ask, so why did you leave if you had a family back there? Like, so so what are you gonna do like, if you've already left, why don't you, what did you leave to accomplish? Well, I mean, you we still have your dad to kill. So, I mean, by the way, who's Abigail? Yeah, she she's gonna let it go. I thought it would be funny. Um, I think she just gives you a hug and kind of nods to you and says, "Well, I'm here to help with anything you need."
We'll be sure to make sure. We will be sure to make sure that the sacrifices you made are worth it.
Alright, wake up, start acting out the book that we're selling after the last store nearby. I think it'll be fun.
Okay. Um. Okay. Did you guys want to do anything else or?
No.
Okay. Uh. So I think that is kind of where we'll end it tonight. Um. Yeah. Anyway, so what did you guys think? I think today was much better than.
Mhm.
So, Ayla, how do you want to handle this book that I gave? Sorry. um, are you just gonna fucking like try to read it all in one day? So next session I should have the whole thing ready to tell you the whole story, or okay, so that is your priority. Let me ask you, you guys don't have any super pressing issues other than that book, right? But she's gonna come get it. Are you guys like? Do you think this would be a time where you guys might spend a couple days just kind of like letting things happen in the city, or are you guys?
There's a few things.
So are these things that we could like kind of like montage them?
Oh yeah.
Technically, one of them is selling either the book or a fake book because something's going on.
So um okay, we might do that. I think that we'll role play it next session, and then I will prepare for you doing that. But then I will also kind of role play something out I'll talk to you about it when we get off, and then we can. Um, and then, well, let me just.
Or at least I'll say there's at least three things I actually think that are not online.
Okay, so here, let me do this then. So with the selling that book, so the thing is Abigail is going to argue that you don't want to sell that book to anyone because then he will have the information that she would glean from that book that she could potentially use to kind of make herself more valuable to him. And if you
Version is I agree with that,
okay,
but I still I am a big fan if you like selling things
okay,
and again I always look for arguments behind the sell the other thing that not season
yeah,
and does not even deal with that whole thing. It's like, oh nope, we're snuffing you guys. Have fun.
yeah. What do you guys think you guys would do with that? I mean, if any of when I ask you a question of any of these, if you're like, I don't know, let's find out next time, that's a totally acceptable answer either, as well.
Alright, this one's pretty easy. Do we want to deal with those guys trying to sell a fake book and get additional information, or just not deal with them? Fuck now.
What is up to me?
So I have to sell a fake book
Mm-hmm.
to rich people.
I think I seen that it was like the person was like keeping selling it. I don't know.
Yeah, you guys were
I've been. Go ahead.
thinking about keeping the book and figuring out yourselves as well.
Yes, we are definitely 100% keeping it actually. Period. Keeping it. Trying to sell it.
That's true. You could sell it because it doesn't actually have like. Is it? Does it have like? Is it a complete copy of the book, like all the words and everything?
The way that I was told, provided that Abigail doesn't have something better she can find us,
Uh.
is that it's essentially just a different book that might have
Yes.
the
So it's
actual
like a
book.
different book that has similar writing, but the cover looks like uh, it would be the correct book.
Yeah, I'm sure some of the information is relatively similar genre, but
Yeah. Okay. Uh. Yeah. So she could put like an illusion on it that would make it like appear like it maybe even be the book when they were looking at it, but then when the illusion wears off, it goes away. So if you want to do that, we can totally do that. Uh, so I'll just prepare for that. What was the other two things?
um, library, the hidden talismans in the library.
Yeah, that can be montagey. Like that's not going to be a ton of stuff. Like you'll find stuff, but it'll be things that like will affect later sessions.
And finally, same thing as systems.
Yes. Okay. So actually, I'm going to write that down. And did anyone else have things that they wanted to do next session?
No.
Uh, Miranda, do you remember that Lady Dahlia wanted to see you because she had a thing that she wanted you to do?
No, I don't remember. I guess I can ask.
Yeah, so when you were with what's his name? Devin, he told you that his mom wanted to or not his mom, but Lady Dahlia wanted to see you. She had a task for you. So Dahlia book sales. Um
And since you're writing things down, or we have jobs and stuff, they'll where is it? Lady Governor.
yes.
That will be in the phone.
Yeah.
Did I find a few things?
Are you gonna tell Devin about Abigail? Are you under the impression? No, I'm. So, are you guys under the impression that Abigail would be cool about you guys talking about her to other people?
Absolutely the fucking not.
Okay. Understood. I just wanted to make sure that I didn't give you the impression that okay.
The only thing I can tell you that I don't care what master Zara and my master would probably
Yeah.
do that. And Tessa works for Zara.
Okay. Perfect. And then um anything else that I should have prepared for next session? I need the book. Ayla's book. Um, are you planning on doing anything to the wizard next session?
Oh, I need to think of that.
Okay. If you have,
I'll think, yeah. I
okay.
plan on at least coming to it, right?
Yes. The reason I was asking is you need to tell me so that I can figure out how to handle that. What else should I write down for next session?
Cyrus has like Cyrus is going to be trying to go hard for time stuff.
Figure out time shit. Okay. Um, let's see. So, are you guys gonna do anything with Xander's gang? Are you guys gonna like try to set up any meetings or anything like that?
That would be. I think that one falls in line with our first one, selling that book.
Okay.
So they have public meetings.
Okay. Slash.
It's inside one of the towns, I think.
Mm, yeah. Okay. Um. Cool. Let's see. So, does anyone have any questions or want to tell me about anything or talk about anything before I say that you can leave if you want?
Sounds like we're good.
Cool.
If
Alrighty.
you want on the next session, I don't want to backtrack this currently. Next session, you want to do the dreams we would otherwise normally have?
Oh, yes, yes, yes. I will do that. So, basically, we'll kind of like just kind of hand wave the time continuity for the end of this session, beginning of next session, and I'll do the dreams when you guys are sleeping.
Sounds like a plan. Sure. I guess we can definitely do that.
Uh, I'm interested to see how Abigail is going to integrate into this group of people.
She's gonna fucking hate it.
So, what's funny is you,
Iris is like hated again.
uh huh, you,
Yeah.
and when you say you think she'll hate Iris, she fucking lives for this fucking conflict. She loves it. So, I don't think she'll hate you.
Well, that's because she got bullied around Isla last night.
No, no, no. She will be much more pleased with somebody that can actually like fight back than with somebody that she just has to bully. Yeah.
God. Sounds like Adam and I just have to think of all these magic traps to set for other characters this next session.
What did you think of my fucking opening move to the wizard's duel?
Oh no, dude. Fucking
uh,
Wizard is fucking genius. Like sure.
oh, I'm so happy. I came up with it. I actually came up with this when I was like laying there thinking about like how I was gonna handle that, and like I was like, it'll be so cool. But the problem is there's so many ways for fucking Orsic to like just make it where it's not awesome, and so I was considering not doing it, but I was like, fuck it, let's do it because maybe it'll work, and then it worked fucking perfectly, and you just opened it. You didn't check it for magic or anything. So That was awesome. I That's why when fucking uh Iris was like, I cast detect magic. I'm like, God damn it, what do I do? Yeah.
Like, I don't think I would if it was actually. I think she would if it was sent to Ayla, but I'm sorry.
And I'm not gonna lie, I was even establishing that gifts were safe by giving you the flowers and the fucking alcohol last time. So this was a long play. I was doing everything I could to try to make sure. Anyways,
Having people try to kill us there.
yeah.
Yeah, Iris is on edge right now.
I thought this was the perfect time, just because like after everything that happened for this would be a great ending to the session. Anyways, uh,
Driving around with so much like
yeah.
literally like with the
I'm so glad that you fucking like remember that part, even though it was like a little tiny fucking moment in that whole exchange. I'm happy that you remembered that moment. Anyways, uh, yeah. So, did you guys get why I was doing the whole army thing? I think I explained that to you, right? Where everyone's leaving.
go ahead. Sorry, I was
I was just saying where everyone was like the army's leaving the city and stuff like that.
makes sense to me. Is there anything the landscape is the word I'm looking
Mm-hmm.
for here?
Yes.
Things are gives us more freedom, but also gives bad guys more freedom. It feels like.
But so, the combat did it feel dangerous, or did you?
I was already low on health, so it was a little bit for me.
Yeah.
But I got hit one and I probably could have been fine even then.
So
Not really.
okay, so I need to make the guys harder.
In short, I would say if you added heat, it would have made it less dangerous.
Okay.
For that specific scenario, like if we took away, let's say if we had this priest and we dropped Abigail from our side, how do you guys? How much damage did Abigail like
Like
cause?
60. Yeah.
Then if it was without Abigail, I would have added like maybe 24,
Okay.
and that would be just as significant.
I just because the thing is we haven't done combat in so long, and I don't think we've ever done combat with you guys as 10th level characters.
Nope.
And I've never run a campaign with 10th level characters, so I don't know at all how to make battles hard. And since I'm not using like monsters where I can use like challenge ratings and stuff like that, uh, it's kind of hard to give you guys enemies. However, did you like the way that I fucking implemented combat for the first time? That felt natural, right?
I did. I honestly feel harder than ever.
I thought you did personality still play second level play.
Yeah. Yeah. Why would you? Uh. Well. Anyways.
So I was like, is this a spell or a personality trait or just a
Yeah. Yeah. Um. Yeah. That was good. I'm happy that I decided to fucking end the session yesterday. It was not going